Imagine stepping outside onto your balcony, patio, or tiny backyard and picking a handful of fresh, sun-ripened fruit, right from your own container-grown tree. No sprawling garden, no orchard, no greenhouse, just compact, beautiful fruit trees thriving in pots. Sounds too good to be true? It isn't. With the right varieties and a few well-chosen containers, you can successfully grow apples, peaches, lemons, figs, cherries, and more, even if your entire outdoor space is the size of a doormat. In today's video, we're exploring 8 amazing fruit trees perfectly suited for pots and small spaces. These compact, productive varieties are ideal for balconies, patios, courtyards, or even sunny indoor locations. These little powerhouses stay manageable in size, produce wonderfully flavorful fruit, and add year-round beauty to your living space, proving that anyone can have a mini orchard no matter where they live. So grab your gardening gloves, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which fruit trees to choose, how to care for them, and what they need to thrive in containers. Let's dive in. 1. Dwarf apple trees. Orchard flavor in a small package. We begin with a timeless classic, apples. Few gardening experiences compare to picking a crisp, juicy apple right from your own tree. And with dwarf and columnar varieties, you can enjoy that magic even in a small outdoor space. Compact varieties like Golden Sentinel, North Pole, Honeycrisp, and Pixie Crunch stay around 5-8 feet tall, but still yield full-sized, full-flavor apples. Choose a sturdy pot at least 20 inches wide with excellent drainage. The apple roots hate soggy soil. Fill it with high-quality potting mix and add compost to boost nutrients. These trees thrive in bright light, so aim for 6 to 8 hours of sun daily. A balcony, patio, or sunny driveway corner works perfectly. Most apple trees do best with a partner for cross-pollination, so planting 2 compatible varieties increases your harvest. Short on space? Pick a self-pollinating type like Fuji, Liberty, or Golden Delicious. Water regularly through the growing season, keeping the soil moist but never saturated. Feed with a fruit tree fertilizer in early spring and again in midsummer. Pruning is essential. It keeps the tree compact and encourages more fruit. Remove crossing branches, open up the center, and shape the tree so sunlight reaches every part. The beauty of dwarf apples isn't just the fruit. The spring blossoms are breathtaking. Soft pink and white flowers cover the tree, filling the air with sweet fragrance and creating your own mini orchard in the smallest space. By late summer or fall, those blossoms turn into clusters of shiny apples ready for picking. Perfect for snacking, baking, or juicing. It's one of the most rewarding container fruit trees you can grow. 2. Dwarf peach trees. Big flavor in a small footprint. Next on the list, peaches, one of the most irresistible fruits you can grow. There's nothing quite like a warm, freshly picked peach bursting with sweetness and fragrance. And yes, you can grow that same orchard-quality fruit right on your patio. Dwarf varieties such as Bonanza, Pixie, and El Dorado stay compact, around 4 to 6 feet tall, but still produce impressive harvests of large, juicy peaches. Start with a pot at least 18 to 24 inches wide and deep. Peaches appreciate room to stretch their roots. Use a fast-draining potting mix enriched with compost. These trees are sun lovers, so give them at least 6 hours of direct sunlight. Consistent watering is important. The soil should stay evenly moist but never soggy. In early spring, dwarf peaches explode with bright pink blossoms that are as stunning as they are fragrant. Bees love them, and soon those flowers swell into fuzzy fruits that ripen from midsummer onward. Feed your tree with a fertilizer high in potassium and phosphorus to boost flowering and fruiting. After you harvest, prune lightly, remove dead wood, open up the canopy, and keep the shape tidy. If you live somewhere with cold winters, move your peach tree to a sheltered spot or an unheated garage once it goes dormant. Protecting the roots helps ensure a strong spring comeback. Even one small peach tree can produce 20-40 peaches a year, more than enough for fresh eating, baking, smoothies, and sharing. With gorgeous blossoms in spring, delicious fruit in summer, and glowing foliage in fall, dwarf peaches are both decorative and highly productive. A perfect container-grown treat. 3. Meyer lemon, the star of any balcony garden. If there's one fruit tree every container gardener should consider, it's undoubtedly the Meyer lemon. This compact citrus is the true definition of small but powerful. Fragrant, productive, and beautifully manageable, it's ideal for patios, balconies, small yards, or even a sunny indoor corner. The Meyer lemon is actually a cross between a traditional lemon and a mandarin, and that's exactly what makes it special. The fruits are slightly smaller with a smooth, thin peel, and the taste is sweeter, more aromatic, and far less acidic than a standard lemon. It's the citrus fan's dream. Perfect for lemonade, cocktails, desserts, or adding a touch of zest to everything from pasta to baked goods. Here's why it thrives in containers. Despite staying compact, usually 3 to 6 feet tall, it can produce an impressive number of lemons throughout the year. Give it full sunlight, ideally 6 to 8 hours daily, and it will reward you with steady growth and abundant fruit. Choose a large pot with superb drainage, roughly 18 to 24 inches wide. Citrus roots dislike excess water, so use a fast-draining soil blend, ideally a citrus-specific mix or a homemade combination of compost, coarse sand, and perlite. Water deeply but not too often. Allow the upper inch of soil to dry before soaking the pot, thoroughly until water runs out the bottom. This mimics the natural deep watering pattern citrus trees prefer. Feeding is essential. Citrus trees are heavy feeders. Use a quality citrus fertilizer every 4 to 6 weeks from spring through early fall. The extra nitrogen keeps the foliage lush and encourages continuous fruit development. One of the greatest advantages of the Meyer lemon is how easily it can transition indoors. If you live in a colder climate, simply bring it inside before frost. Place it in a bright window, preferably one facing south, and increase humidity by misting the leaves occasionally. It will keep growing happily, and may even flower and fruit indoors. The blossoms are incredibly aromatic, like having a natural air freshener filling your home with a sweet, tropical scent. And yes, this tree can bear fruit all year long when kept warm and well fed. Imagine this: snow falling outside while you're inside, picking a golden lemon from your very own indoor citrus tree. That's the charm of the Meyer lemon: beauty, fragrance, and homegrown flavor, all thriving in one container. 4. Dwarf cherry trees, big flavor in small spaces. Now let's explore one of the most delightful trees you can grow in a pot: the dwarf cherry. Most people picture sprawling orchards when they think of cherries, but modern compact varieties make it possible to enjoy that same orchard experience right at home, even on a balcony. Varieties such as Stella, Lapins, Sweetheart, and Compact Stella are perfect for small areas. They typically reach only 6 to 8 feet tall, but still produce full-size, juicy cherries with the same rich sweetness as those grown in large orchards. Start with a sturdy, generously sized container, at least 20 inches wide and deep, with excellent drainage. Use a fertile potting mix enriched with compost or aged manure. Cherries prefer soil that's slightly acidic and consistently moist, though never waterlogged. Give your tree full sun, a minimum of 6 to 8 hours daily. The more sunlight it receives, the stronger your flowering and fruit production will be. Spring is when dwarf cherries truly shine. Before any leaves appear, the tree bursts into clouds of pink and white blossoms. A breathtaking display that rivals even ornamental cherry trees. It's like having your own private cherry blossom festival right outside your door. Once the blossoms fade, clusters of glossy red cherries begin to develop and usually ripen by early summer. You'll know they're ready when they turn deep red and feel slightly soft. Sweet varieties like Stella or Lapins taste incredible straight from the branch. Juicy, rich, and bursting with flavor. Most dwarf varieties are self-fertile, so you only need one tree to get fruit. Though planting 2 different varieties often boosts yield and improves fruit size. Feed your cherry tree in early spring with a balanced fertilizer, 10-10-10 or a similar organic blend, and again after harvesting to help the tree regain strength. Prune lightly in late winter to maintain its form and remove dead or crossing branches. If you experience cold winters, remember that potted trees have more exposed roots. Wrap the container with burlap or move it to a sheltered spot whenever temperatures dip below freezing. Aside from their delicious fruit, dwarf cherry trees are incredibly decorative. They offer spectacular spring blooms, glossy summer fruit, and vibrant golden red foliage in fall, making them a beautiful focal point year-round. There's something uniquely satisfying about stepping outside on a warm summer morning and picking a handful of cherries. straight from your own compact container-grown tree. 5. Calamondin orange, the charming mini citrus. Powerhouse. If you adore the beauty, fragrance, and personality of citrus trees but don't have much room to spare, let me introduce you to one of the most delightful compact fruit trees you can grow, the Calamondin orange. This small citrus is the perfect mix of ornamental appeal and steady production. Picture a petite tree only a few feet tall, overflowing with glossy, deep green leaves, tiny fragrant white blossoms, and clusters of vivid orange fruits that resemble miniature tangerines. It's like bringing a slice of tropical sunshine right to your patio, balcony, or even your kitchen window. Calamondins stay modest in size and typically 3 to 5 feet tall, yet they produce an impressive amount of fruit. Mature trees can carry dozens, sometimes hundreds, of oranges at once. And one of the most exciting features, they're ever-bearing. You'll often see blossoms developing fruit and fully ripened oranges on the tree all at the same time. The fruit is small, about golf ball size, and wonderfully tart. You can eat them whole because the peel is sweet, while the inside has a bright, tangy punch. The flavor sits somewhere between a mandarin and a lemon, making calamondins perfect for marmalades, curds, cocktails, desserts, and flavorful cooking. They're especially popular in Filipino and Southeast Asian cuisine for their bold, citrusy kick. What truly separates the calamondin from other citrus trees is how well it adapts to indoor living. While many citrus varieties struggle inside, this one thrives. It's one of the few citrus plants that genuinely enjoys being a houseplant. Place it in the brightest spot possible, ideally a south or west-facing window, and it will respond with lush growth and frequent blooms. It's not demanding about soil either. Use a light, well-draining mix and ensure the pot has plenty of drainage holes. Keep the soil evenly moist without letting it become soggy. When the top inch of soil feels dry, it's time to water. Feed the plant with a citrus fertilizer every few weeks in spring and summer, and mist the leaves occasionally to raise humidity. During winter months, when indoor air becomes dry, a small humidifier nearby can boost growth and prevent leaf drop. Pruning needs are minimal. Just trim the occasional stray branch to maintain its rounded, attractive shape. Beyond being a fruiting tree, Calamondin is a stunning decorative plant. The combination of rich foliage, sweetly scented blossoms, and glowing orange fruit makes it feel like a living piece of artwork, bright, cheerful, and exotic. It enhances any space, indoors or out. Just imagine someone walking into your home, catching the scent of citrus blossoms, spotting a little orange tree glowing by the window, and then hearing you say, "Oh, those? I make marmalade from them." Instant conversation piece. If you want a plant that's easy to care for, gorgeous, and endlessly rewarding, the Calamondin orange may just become your new favorite container citrus. 6. Fig trees, a taste of the Mediterranean. At home. Now let's talk about one of the world's oldest and most cherished fruit trees, the fig. Figs have been cultivated for millennia, from ancient Egypt and Greece to the sun-drenched coasts of Italy and Spain. They symbolize abundance and sweetness, and the best part is, you don't need a Mediterranean garden to grow one. You can cultivate your own fig tree right inside a container. Unlike many fruit trees, figs actually prefer being a bit root-restricted. They thrive in pots, often growing better there than in the ground. A well-cared-for container fig produces lush, tropical-looking leaves and delicious fruit that looks like it came straight from a Mediterranean holiday postcard. Choose compact varieties that naturally perform well in pots, such as Petite Negre, Brown Turkey, Celeste, or Little Miss Figgy. These stay manageable in size while producing excellent fruit. Petite Negre is especially remarkable. It can start fruiting when it's barely 2 feet tall. Use a large container at least 18 to 24 inches wide and deep, with great drainage. Figs like moisture but can't tolerate soggy roots. A mixture of compost, garden loam, and either sand or perlite is ideal. Give the tree full sun, the brighter the better. If you live in a cooler climate, place the pot near a warm wall or a sunny patio where it can absorb extra heat. Warmth helps figs ripen properly and encourages larger, healthier foliage. Now let's talk about the fruit, because this is where figs really shine. In late summer, you'll notice clusters of small, pear-shaped figs forming along the branches. As they ripen, they turn shades of deep purple, bronze, or honeygold, depending on the variety. When the fruits begin to soften and droop slightly, they're ready to pick. Split one open and you'll see soft, jammy flesh glistening inside. The flavor is rich, honeyed, and almost caramel-like, a natural dessert. Even better, many fig varieties offer 2 harvests each year, one in early summer and another in late summer or early fall. That means double the sweetness from a single compact tree. Figs require very little care. Give them a light pruning in winter to maintain shape and remove weak or crossing branches. Feed in spring with an organic or balanced fertilizer, and again midsummer if growth is still strong. In colder climates, figs need protection during winter. Once they go dormant, move the pot into a frost-free garage, shed, or basement. Don't be alarmed when the leaves fall. Figs naturally drop their foliage, then surge back to life in spring. Even without fruit, fig trees are stunning. Their broad, sculptural leaves instantly give any patio or balcony a warm, Mediterranean feel. Picture yourself sitting outside on a summer evening, surrounded by herbs and greenery, hearing the rustle of fig leaves, and reaching over to pick a perfectly ripe fig from your own tree. That's the joy of container gardening, a touch of ancient luxury right at home. 7. Dwarf pomegranate, the gem of small space gardens. If you want a plant that blends beauty, symbolism, and homegrown fruit all in one, few choices compare to the dwarf pomegranate. Affectionately called the gem of the patio, this compact form of the traditional pomegranate tree brings vibrant color, energy, and elegance to balconies, terraces, and sunny indoor spots. From the moment it begins to bloom, it grabs attention. The tree becomes covered in brilliant, fiery orange-red blossoms, shaped like tiny flaring bells. Set against dark green, glossy leaves, the flowers look like glowing sparks in the sunlight. Even before it produces fruit, it's absolutely breathtaking to look at. But the real excitement comes when those blossoms begin turning into miniature pomegranates. Small, bronze-red orbs packed with glistening seeds that look like ruby crystals. They're smaller than supermarket varieties, but don't let the size fool you. The flavor is rich, sweet tart, and full of that classic pomegranate depth. If you've ever opened a full-sized pomegranate and admired the glittering seeds inside, imagine watching that transformation happen right on your patio year after year. It feels like discovering treasure in your own backyard. The most common compact variety, Punica granatum nana, stays around 2 to 3 feet tall, making it ideal for containers. Another lovely option is State Fair, known for prolific blooming and small, fully edible fruit. Growing a dwarf pomegranate in a pot is wonderfully simple. These trees thrive in bright, full sun. The more sunlight they get, the more blossoms and fruit they produce. They also handle heat extremely well thanks to their Mediterranean origins, and are far more drought-tolerant than many other fruit trees. Plant them in a well-draining soil mix. Cactus or citrus blends work perfectly. Water moderately, allowing the top inch of soil to dry before watering again. Overwatering is one of the few things they dislike, so a light hand is best. During spring and summer, give them a monthly feeding with a balanced fertilizer to support growth and flowering. As autumn approaches and temperatures drop, reduce watering and feeding so the tree can naturally slow down. If you live in a colder climate, dwarf pomegranates are easy to overwinter indoors. Once nighttime temperatures dip below around 40 degrees, bring the pot inside and place it near a sunny window. Even without fruit, its tidy form and glossy foliage make it a beautiful indoor ornamental. Once spring returns, simply move it back outdoors and it will wake up, bloom again, and continue its cycle of color and fruit. Beyond their beauty and flavor, pomegranates have deep cultural symbolism, representing abundance, luck, fertility, and renewal across many traditions. Growing one isn't just gardening. It feels like nurturing a small, living symbol of hope and prosperity. If you want something decorative, delicious, and full of personality, the dwarf pomegranate is a perfect addition to any garden, even a windowsill. 8. Dwarf pear trees. Graceful, productive, and ideal for containers. If elegance could be captured in a fruit tree, it would undoubtedly be the pear. With their tall, slender form and gently arching branches, pear trees have a natural sophistication that makes them timeless. Thanks to modern dwarf varieties, you can now enjoy their beauty and fruit even in compact outdoor spaces. Small space pear trees such as Garden Belle, Concord, Patio Pear, or Urban Treasure reach only about 6 to 8 feet tall. Yet they produce full-sized, juicy pears with the same incredible flavor you'd expect from a large orchard tree. In spring, these trees explode with clusters of pure white blossoms. Their soft fragrance draws in bees and butterflies, turning your patio into a tiny pollinator haven. By summer, the branches begin to fill with small green pears that gradually ripen into golden, rosy, or russet tones, depending on the cultivar. There's something magical about seeing perfectly shaped pears hanging from a tree growing in a simple pot outside your home, like having your own miniature orchard steps away from your kitchen. Growing dwarf pears in containers is surprisingly straightforward. Start with a generous pot at least 20 inches in both width and depth. Use a nutrient-rich, well-draining mix, ideally with compost or aged manure added in. Pears appreciate slightly acidic soil, so incorporating a bit of peat moss or pine bark can help. They need full sun, 6 to 8 hours per day, to bloom and fruit properly. Keep the soil evenly moist, especially during summer and fruiting months, but avoid waterlogging. Consistent moisture results in larger, juicier pears. Most pear varieties require cross-pollination, meaning you'll get better harvests if you have two compatible trees. But that doesn't mean you need a lot of space. Here are simple options. Grow 2 different dwarf pears in 2 pots placed close together. Choose a self-fertile variety like Conference or Concord. Select a multi-grafted tree that has 2 varieties on one trunk. Double the fruit from a single plant. Feed your tree in early spring with a slow-release fruit tree fertilizer and refresh the soil with a layer of compost once or twice a year. Prune in late winter to remove weak or crossing branches and keep the tree well-shaped and open so sunlight can reach the developing fruit. In summer, if your tree sets too many pears, thin them out, leaving 4 to 6 inches of space between fruits. This helps the remaining pears grow larger, sweeter, and more flavorful. Most pears ripen in late summer to early fall. A perfectly ripe pear should detach easily when lifted and twisted gently. You can pick them slightly firm. Pears often finish ripening beautifully indoors. Beyond the harvest, dwarf pears are simply beautiful trees. Their shape is graceful, their seasonal changes are charming, and their fruit is a rewarding finale each year. For gardeners who want something refined, productive, and suitable for a patio or balcony, a dwarf pear tree is the perfect choice. It's not just a plant, and it's a living sculpture that becomes sweeter with every season.